Hi guys, I already did an in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. I also did an in-depth comparison with the Z3, and if you have now decided to go for the S6 and can't decide for which to go, the Edge or the regular one, maybe this video will be of help, and I will mostly talk about the differences here, and this can be done quite quickly. So what are the main differences? As you can see here on the regular one, you have this curve which makes it feel quite narrow and compact in the hand, which is nice. But therefore, since you have all this metal here, you have the whole thickness which you feel, not that it feels thick or anything, but once you get the Edge in your hand for the first time and hold it like this in your hands, then in comparison the S6 regular one will actually feel thick, because as you can see, you hold on to way less metal. But therefore, as I said, due to not having this curve here, which makes the device feel narrower, but having a flat side, I personally think the Edge feels wider. It's not that they are both anyone too wide, they are both very compact and they are both feel great. But I think what it makes up, it is maybe thinner, at least thinner feeling, but therefore it feels wider. It's not a big difference, and that is definitely not the deal breaker for me. But I have a few other things why I don't like the Edge so much. And yes, of course, if it's about aesthetics, I know a lot of people prefer the S6 Edge, mostly because of the design. But I can't justify this extra amount of money you have to pay for what? For a thinner, but therefore wider feeling device with a few caveats, because the caveats are here. As you can see, due to the Edge, you almost always have some kind of reflection here, and this is even more so noticeable on a black. You have this because you have lights from the side, and the same would be the case if you had a light from the other side. So if you are in a normal lit room with more than one light, you will already have two reflections all the time, which I find to be quite annoying. But that is not even the only thing, because one thing I have also, as you can maybe see here, there is some color distortion. And I heard of some devices not having it and having it, but actually I feel due to the bending, there actually has to be some kind of distortion in my opinion. So there is a kind of green or blue, and this is on both sides. It's not visible straight up from the video, but in reality you notice that the sides are getting a little bit more blurry and just distorted, because it is no plain view. So this is one thing that actually bugged me a lot, because I browse on a lot of white sites and then it gets quite obvious. One thing I also don't like so much, if you are on a site and the text is completely to the side, you actually see the text is already wrapped around. It's not a big issue in most cases, because usually sites don't go that far off to the side, but in certain cases it happens. And what there is also, as you can see, the outer line of the buttons is already in the curve, so this needs a little bit getting used to. Also not the biggest thing, but for me also, since I lose a lot of bezel gestures, it is a bit hard to activate them, because actually you would think that where the screen actually starts it will get recognized, but no, you have to get pretty much in the screen already to get those activated. And this is a bit odd, because why is there the Edge if it's not really that responsive to the Edge? As you can see here, it's not that easy to get it done. So to wrap it quickly up, personally, I definitely wouldn't pay the extra money. Yes, you get a nicer looking device, it looks nicer definitely, and it is something different. Most people just want it because it is something different. But why pay like 150 extra to get something new that doesn't give you anything? Because the Edge options or the functions are a complete gimmick for me. I never used them because I didn't feel the need for it, because it seemed actually almost useless. Also, we have the distortion here that what I see as a downside. Same goes for the wrapping, and the typing just feels odd. Also, gestures won't get recognized that well, and this just for a slightly thinner feeling and nicer looking device, therefore pay more. Sorry, I don't see it, because the S6 in overall feels more compact in the hand. It just better to grip. Some people say if you grip it like this, it feels better because it is better to grip. Yes, like this, but I usually have my phone this like in the end, and I have now a hard edge which lets me slide off a few times because I have nothing really proper to grip on. It's because it feels so wide, but here I can grab onto the curve and the flat side, and it feels much more comfortable. But of course, yes, this was a very subjective comparison, but let me know what you think. Is it worth paying 150 extra for the downsides, for just a few little upsides of the better look, being something new and maybe feeling thinner, but therefore the S6 is cheaper, doesn't have this distortion issues with the display, feels nicer in the hand, for me especially, personally. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Until next time, bye.